Fentanyl is killing more Americans than ever before. The drug that's responsible for the majority of U.S. overdose deaths is pouring over the southern border, but it doesn't look like our neighbor to the south is doing nearly enough to stop one of the biggest sources. In fact, one lawmaker asserts Mexico is waging an imaginary war on drug traffickers. Revelations from data obtained by Reuters and claims of soldiers friendly with cartels indicating calls to crack down smugglers may be falling on deaf ears. In March, Mexico dramatically increased lab raids after pressure from the U.S. to take down drug makers and movers. But they did so by including hundreds of inactive labs. It turns out 95% of seizures by Mexico's army took place at empty facilities in the first 7 months of 2023. New data shows of 527 labs, just 24 were active. Those numbers from the Mexican Defense Ministry. It's a pattern seen in the first 4 years of President Andrés Manuel López Obrador's presidency. In those 4 years, inactive labs accounted for 89% of raids. That's not music to the ears of the Biden administration, whose goal is to cripple the flow of the illicit drug. The U.S. is currently turning up the heat on the Mexican government to clamp down on secret drug labs. However, Mexico's president has previously said the deadly drug is not his country's problem, as his government claims the drug was brought over by Asian drug cartels. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency has repeatedly pushed back, saying Mexican cartels dominate the entire global fentanyl supply chain. But in November, López Obrador had a change of tune after meeting with President Biden, saying Mexico is committed to continue helping to prevent the entry of chemicals and fentanyl into the U.S. The rhetoric may have just been lip service. Nearly all the labs listed by Mexican officials in August are labeled meth labs, not fentanyl labs. There is one thing that may be skewing data. A Mexican official told Reuters criminals often leave facilities inactive between rounds of drug synthesis, meaning a lab inactive in August could have been used again, so a raid may have stopped the use of that facility. But U.S. officials aren't convinced, revealing that Mexico does not actually inform them of how many lab raids are conducted on working operations and deserted facilities. Also, Mexican Defense Ministry data is inconsistent and has been for years, with constant changes to the number of labs raided. For instance, on December 11th, an updated version of data released in August showed all labs that had been listed as inactive as active. A senior fellow at the Brookings Institute said this reinforces how the data is being manipulated to placate the United States without really serious effort to move against fentanyl production and trafficking. Republican Senator Chuck Grassley appears to agree, saying the figures suggest Mexico is fighting an imaginary war on drugs designed to score political points rather than save lives. Another twist: 2 active traffickers told Reuters it is common practice for cartels to give up drugs or locations of labs to friendly soldiers who leak information about planned operations. One of the traffickers claimed the raids are often for show. The Mexican Defense Ministry and other law enforcement did not respond to Reuters' requests for comment.